Yeah.
All right, we're good to go. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sui Chong, according to your program. We just switched things up a little bit. I want to welcome everybody here to the 8th annual Michael Maggio Awards hosted by Immigrants List. You got your cap on the way in. I thank you for your support. I'm new to the board of Immigrants List. Mr. Kirschman asked me, he asked me to join last year, I think, and I'm not really sure yet what I'm doing. I want to go off script for a minute, just say a little pitch, especially for today, National Day of Action. I am probably one of the most fiscally conservative people you'll ever know. I identify as Republican, sorry, Senator. But we have a problem. Our party has a problem. Our country has a problem, and we've been ignoring it for way too long. And it's not going to go away until we do some good, hard work, and until my party, who I am having serious concerns about whether or not I'm going to be able to vote for my party in 2016.
Amen.
We've got some work to do, and Immigrants List is all about doing that. What we did today at NDA through ALA is what Immigrants List is out there doing all over the country every day, both through its political action committee, both through its civic action group, which is educating the public. We've got to change the way that people think about and talk about immigration reform, and I'm very grateful to be a part of this group and help do that. This is the 10-year anniversary of Immigrants List. 6 immigration attorneys formed it in 2006. It's a networking opportunity and tool to raise money for candidates, pro-immigration candidates, candidates who are thinking the right way about the changes that we need in our laws. And in just 1 week, it raised over $120,000. Since then, we've gained the support of almost 30,000 supporters across the country. We've supported 60 candidates, both Republicans and Democrats. Again, it's not so much a party issue as it's a humanitarian issue and the right issue for us. Today, Immigrants List is the only pro-immigration political action committee the country has. It's helped us give a voice to Americans everywhere who support reform. During this particular election year, we'll continue to change the conversation in Washington. I would encourage you to do that as well in your home districts and work to make real immigration reform a reality. As many as you know, we've honored Michael Maggio, who's one of the founding members for his career working on behalf of Immigrants List. He was one of the original 6. He was committed to seeing immigration reform, committed to seeing immigration reform become new immigration laws. I did not personally know him, but his work has inspired me, and it should be an inspiration to me. We're excited to help continue the fight in his name and present this particular award in his name. This year we're presenting Senator Patrick Leahy. Patrick Leahy from Vermont. As you all know, he's played an integral role in the Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration for years. He truly understands humanitarian tradition and nature. He thinks the right way, even though he's a Democrat.
The only one ever elected in Vermont.
He's worked to support refugees, to improve agricultural work visa program, and to help create an achievable pathway to citizenship. That makes him a champion for us. It makes him a champion for everybody, in my opinion. Margaret Stock from Alaska is also here with us tonight. Who is probably one of the top 2 or 3, I think, people in this room who has contributed so much to changes in immigration law over the recent past with their work for the military. I appreciate you for that. My military clients appreciate you for that. We're proud to have her join us as we kick off her campaign. She kicks off her campaign. It's an important election year. She's running, as you know, as an independent from Alaska. Makes me want to move to Alaska so I can vote for you.
Come on up.
Give me a job. You're going to need somebody when you're in office to keep the practice going. So this time I'm going to turn the floor over to somebody who I'm supposed to introduce, but he needs no introduction. For me, for a long time when I got started in this, he was a god. I consider him a god, and I consider Mary Kramer a goddess. He has become a mentor. He's become a friend. Ira Kirschman, ladies and
gentlemen. This is a very special occasion for me because Patrick Leahy has been one of my great heroes for, he doesn't know that, but for many, many years. Because he embodies to me what somebody should be as a member of Congress. He has always consistently fought for people who have been voiceless in our society. He has consistently fought for the ideas that we should have judicial review, that people should have a say in their government, that he understands, I think, intuitively, that our government is not always right, and that's one of the reasons why it's so important to have laws and lawyers and people with access to the courts to fight for those rights. And Senator, all I can say is I'm really proud. I know you're on a tight schedule, so I won't go on too long, but I'm really proud to present you the Maggio Award. Like you, Michael was a great humanitarian and fought for the rights of those people who couldn't fight for themselves. So thank you.
Thank you, Aaron, thank you, and I apologize for the voice. It's actually allergies, but I appreciate the introduction, and I want you to know that we are bipartisan in my state. I am, however, Vermont's the only state selected only one Democrat to the U.S. Senate, and that's me. But when I was introduced that way as the only Democrat ever elected in Vermont's history, voice in the back room says, "Hey, they're going to make that mistake twice." But I have worked very, very hard on immigration. My parents-in-law immigrated to Vermont from Canada, French-speaking Canada. My wife was born in Vermont. My maternal grandparents immigrated from Italy, and my mother was born in Vermont. My great-great-grandparents immigrated from Ireland. And of course, my grandparents and my father were born in Vermont. But I wonder how, with today's attitude, how much difficulty they'd have to come in. They each started businesses, they made our state a better state, allowed me to run for the Senate. But I wonder where they would be with some of the anti-immigration attitude. We passed, as chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, we put together a comprehensive immigration bill. Now, it took months and months of work. We'd have meetings and markups and votes until late into the evening. And it just went on and on. But finally, about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock one night, after weeks of markups, we passed it out of the committee. Then we passed out of the Senate by a 2-to-1 margin. And sent over to the House. There were enough votes in the House to pass it. The then Speaker Boehner, said, well, there's one part that did not want it, so he would not bring it up. Some of these same people would not bring up, then criticize President Obama for taking steps to improve immigration. Well, if they don't like what the president does, pass a bill. We have Republicans and Democrats who joined that Senate bill. It was a good bill. But we've got to keep working on this. Look at the immigrant children across our borders, fleeing horrific violence, fleeing drug gangs, sex trade, all the rest. They come here. We have to do more. We expect them, even those children who have little education, don't speak English, who suffered serious trauma, to then navigate our rules without any legal guidance. We had an immigration judge who said, well, this 3-year-old doesn't need a judge. The 3-year-old can learn the immigration laws. What the hell is he thinking? We have some excellent immigration lawyers here, but they took years to know it, to do it. You expect a 3-year-old? Let's be realistic. It's not why we're Americans. That's why I'm co-sponsoring a Fair Day in Court for Kids Act, which would I have grandchildren. I happen to think they're the brightest. I have the pictures built. But I would hate to think of any of my grandchildren at 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 or 12 or 13 to have to go into an immigration court where the language might be different than theirs and know what to do. Let's be realistic. This country, every one of us, have backgrounds that come from other countries. Those who want to campaign for president by saying we will close our borders to this religion or this race or this group, they are not qualified to lead this country. There are Republicans and Democrats who want to make it work, who want to get an immigration law. You are the ones that are helping us. I thank you very much. I apologize for the voice again, and I apologize for having to leave, but this award means a great deal to me. And I'll keep on working with or without the award. I'll keep on.
I've been asked to introduce Margaret Stock, so I'm here, Margaret. I want you to know Margaret is one of my favorite people because you may not know this about her, but she has an incredible sense of humor. We spent one night where she explained to me how she got Mavney passed, and it was, I have to say it, I hope I can say it, but one of the funniest stories I've ever heard in my entire life. And it was really a tribute to how tenacious she is, how smart she is. As you all may know by now, she's been recognized as a MacArthur Fellow. You know, how politically astute she is. There are many of our members who say they're going to run for office, but I have to say, Margaret is the first person who has run who has generated true enthusiasm across the board, Republicans, Democrats. We're all very excited for you. We know you're going to win. And when you win, just don't forget you're an immigration lawyer.
Well, I'm honored to be your special guest tonight, and I am from Alaska, and you all know that up there I can see Russians from my house. They're my clients. I've got them green cards. So I'm quite honored to be here tonight. I'm supposed to tell you a little bit about my family's immigration history, apparently. So I'll let you know that one side of the family got deported to the American colonies by the British. And the other side immigrated from Eastern Europe in the early 20th century.
Well, we won't hold that against you.
Yeah, we have a mixed relationship there among the two different sides of the family. But as you all know, I served my country in the Military Police Corps and the Army Reserve for 28 years. I'm a retired reservist, which means they can call me back up if Congress declares war. And that's why I'm going for the Senate. So I have a say in that matter. Just kidding. But I am running up in Alaska as an independent, and I owe you an explanation for why I'm doing that, because most people are unfamiliar with the politics in Alaska. I've been a lifelong Republican, but the party essentially has left me, and I think if you've been observing the presidential debates, you'll understand what I mean by that. But Alaska is a fiercely independent state, and about 54% of the voters in Alaska are independents. Only 15% are Democrats. The Democrats have announced they're not running a candidate this year, and they're planning to open up their primary to allow me to run in their primary as an independent. I do want to let you all know that, because people go, an independent. Our governor in Alaska is an independent, and I intend to be an independent United States Senator who will represent the interests of Alaska. What I'm most concerned about is, frankly, the dysfunction in Congress. Congress is so dysfunctional at this point that they're not getting things done, like passing legislation that the country demands be passed and that the country needs. And the only way we're going to get past that partisan gridlock, I think, is if people like me run as independents and get elected. And that will allow us to return things to the center, which is always the strength of the American democracy, that we had a strong, solid center that could get things done and keep the extremists from fighting with each other and not getting things done. One of the reasons the executive has gotten so powerful is because Congress isn't doing its job anymore. And I do want to return Congress to its traditional role of actually passing laws and repealing laws that don't make sense anymore. First on my agenda, if I get to the United States Senate, would be to fix 96. In 20 years of the ill-fated bills that passed in 1996, we've seen that they're a complete failure. And it does not take much writing to say, I am repealing the 3-year bar and the 10-year bar and the permanent bar, which are all things that make absolutely no sense and just drive everybody crazy and prevent large numbers of American citizens from getting their family members into any kind of lawful status in the United States. I don't have to tell this crowd that, but I did want to emphasize to you that one of my top priorities when I get to the United States Senate will be to work on immigration reform. It's obviously not the biggest issue for my state. We don't have a lot of unauthorized immigration in Alaska, but immigration reform is important to Alaska because we have many legal immigrants, and we have families, and we have businesses, and they can't get the workers into Alaska that they need, and they can't get their family members into Alaska. And this is hurting our economy, it's hurting the small businesses that are trying to grow, and it's making life difficult for everybody. So I want to return, when I get to the Senate, to some sensibility on the immigration front. Long ago, you might remember, if you've read the Declaration of Independence, one of our grievances against the king was that he had a bad immigration policy. And I want to remind people of those principles in the Declaration of Independence because they are our founding principles. And I intend to carry those out and live up to my oath of office when I get to the United States Senate. So thank you for listening to me tonight, and I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. I'd like to ask everyone who's here, if you haven't made a contribution to Margaret's campaign, we ask to come here with the hope that people will, take out their wallets, get out their checkbooks, and give her a contribution to the campaign. As you know, it's not inexpensive to run for public office. And we have high hopes, and we really feel very, very strongly she's going to win. We, tonight, on behalf of Immigrants List, I don't know where the check is, but we're giving you a check tonight, a sizable check for your campaign. We'd also like and hope that people will contribute to Immigrants List, and we, over the next several months, what we intend to do is raise a substantial amount of money so that we can actively participate in campaigns around the United States during this election year in districts where immigration is an important factor and where the salience of people coming out to vote, particularly in the Hispanic community and in the Asian American community, is low. So our strategy is, just so you know what we're all about, given the resources that we have, our strategy is where there are close elections, where there are pro-immigration candidates, where getting out the vote from the Hispanic community and the Asian American community will make a difference, where traditionally those communities have not come out to vote. We intend to dedicate all our resources to making sure that that happens, both on behalf of our C4, which is an educational organization, to get out the vote drive, and on behalf of the PAC in terms of supporting particular candidates. So please tell your friends about Immigrants List. Please spread the word. We need everyone's help. And we appreciate all of you being here. And please stop and talk to Margaret. And if any of you can give her a check, we'd appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sui Chung. I'm on the board of Immigrants List. Like Stan, I'm a fairly new board member. I'm here to encourage you not just to give donations, but give your time and energy, giving Immigrants List information, volunteering for Immigrants List. We need all of your help. Everyone's from a different place. We need all of you to contribute your time, energy, and money. I want to mention that 70% of the candidates that Immigrants List has supported have come out on top. So you can see that all of this organization and all this push has a success rate. So we need to do something aside from just going to National Day of Action, engaging with these lawmakers. Sometimes we can't budge them. So money speaks. We need to elect the right candidates like Margaret, like Senator Leahy. It speaks volumes. And there's a lot of corporate backing for many other candidates that unfortunately are anti-immigrant. So we need to all come together, whether you give a sizable donation today, whether you do a monthly donation, we need your help. So I'm encouraging you to please give not just your time, your energy, your efforts, your information, but also put your money where we need to have those efforts in order to elect the proper candidates. So thank you again for coming. Special thanks to Margaret, to Senator Leahy, Ira Kurzban, our board. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy your evening, and if you have questions, please speak to us. Thank you.